Coming to you from the Detroit Regional Chamber Mackinac Policy Conference, taped at Grand Hotel. Hi, I'm Paul W. Smith. Welcome into Comcast Newsmakers. Our special guest, State Senator Tonya Schuitmaker, serving the 20th District. Senator, nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
It's a good time for Michigan, isn't it?
It is. I think it's a wonderful opportunity. So we've set great public policy so far in the state legislature, and our days are brighter ahead.
And being a lifelong Michigander, that is extra special for you.
That's extra special. I want the best from a state of Michigan that's prosperous for my children.
All working out well. Everyone really, I think, accomplishing a lot here at the conference that we'll take back home with us and continue to work on. There's lots to do, but everyone feels like we're moving in the right direction. Very specifically, you've worked on some important issues that could be very protective of all of us, including this bill on the DNA testing of prisoners to help solve cold cases. Give us some background on that.
Well, the background of it is the Department of Corrections had interpreted a bill that was passed about 10, 20 years ago, they interpreted it to mean that they would collect the DNA samples upon their release. There's been a number of cold cases that had they collected the DNA sample on the front end when they came into the correction system, that you would have solved many cold cases. And there was a particular case over in West Michigan where a man had raped a woman, and he was sitting in prison. So had they done it years earlier, she would have found out and had more peace of mind. And so I think it will help eliminate all the cold cases out there if we collect these DNA samples on the front end rather than the back end.
Yeah, that seems to make a lot of sense. Did you run into some resistance on that, or what was the reason why?
Well, the Department of Corrections had interpreted the law to mean that it was unconstitutional against the prisoner's rights, and so we just clarified that to clarify that it should be done on the front end. And I think this will help, especially alleviate the backlog of the cold cases and backlog of cases.
Is this something now that is law and that will happen every time someone goes into?
It's in the Senate. It needs to go over to the House now, and I don't expect any resistance in the House. There was very little resistance to this in the Senate.
Would this mean anyone who finds himself in the system there would be tested?
And their DNA would go into the national database for unsolved crimes, and their DNA would be on file.
Ah, that's excellent. It just makes good sense, doesn't it?
It does make good policy sense.
Sure, sure. What else is going on there as you serve the 20th District?
Well, the other thing, I've served also on appropriations, and we passed a record budget in a historic amount of time. One of the things we heard from local municipalities, and especially the K-12 system, is we need a budget. We need to know what our revenues are going to be from the state of Michigan before July, and we did that. We accommodated that request upon, and so I think we passed an honest budget with no one-time fixes, no structural deficiencies, and I think that's a great thing for the state of Michigan.
Well, it is a great thing. It falls in line with Governor Snyder has talked about, with a culture change, a real change in the way we've done things, and it was obviously necessary to do that. There are people who are going to argue all the specifics, but the reality is we couldn't keep doing things the way we were doing them and expect any kind of a different outcome.
That's correct. We can't afford the government we have. In fact, in Parchment, near my district, or in my district, we had a police department where 3 police officers were nearing retirement age, and so rather than kind of do things that we've always done, they thought outside the box and actually are saving the city about $162,000 a year by contracting those services with the Kalamazoo Township police officers. Same level of service, but saving the taxpayer money. One more example of how Governor Snyder has set out the metrics in order to consolidate government and make it more efficient for the taxpayer.
Music to our ears. We love to hear about the efficiencies and saving our tax dollars, that's for sure.
That's correct.
State Senator Tonya Schuitmaker, serving the 20th District. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us, too, on Comcast Newsmakers. Until next time, regards, Paul W. Smith.